Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. 1 arrested for several thefts in North Al Batinah. 1 injured in vehicle crash in Oman. MOC inked on initiative to boost local content in Oman's energy sector. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky named Times Person of the Year. European Commission proposes additional sanctions against Russia. Meghan Markle wins award for philanthropy along with bagging trophy for Archetypes podcast. Spain's exit and stats show limit of pure passing game. Van Dijk, Argentina are more than just Leo Messi. Those were the headlines. Now for the local stories for the day. The Royal Oman Police has arrested a person for committing 7 theft crimes from several shops in North Al Batinah Governorate. North Al Batinah Governorate Police Command arrested a person for committing 7 crimes of theft from several shops. The legal procedures are being completed against him, ROP said in a statement. A person suffered moderate injuries due to a vehicle crash in Al Dahira Governorate. The firefighting, rescue and ambulance teams of the Civil Defence and Ambulance Department in Al Dahira Governorate responded to a report of a vehicle crash and its ignition in the Falaj Al Sudairin area in the Wilayat of Yankul. The teams were able to sustain the person and take him to the hospital. He sustained a moderate injury, the Civil Defence and Ambulance Authority said in a statement. The National Employment Programme, Mazun Electricity Company and the Industrial Innovation Academy on Wednesday signed a memorandum of cooperation to implement an initiative titled Augmenting Local Content in the Energy Sector. The MOC seeks to enhance cooperation among the 3 parties to develop and implement requirements of local content in the energy sector by empowering Omani small and medium enterprises operating in the sector. The MOC provides for allocating to the SMEs a number of services required by the energy sector, along with support and follow-up from the Authority for Public Services Regulations. The signing ceremony was held under the auspices of Sheikh Dr. Mansoor Talib Al-Hinai, Chairman of the APSR, General Supervisor of the NEP. The agreement was signed by Engineer Azhar Ahmad Al-Kindi, Technical Director of the NEP, Engineer Salam Saeed Al-Kamiani, CEO of Mazun Electricity Company, and Dr. Ayman Abdullah Al-Fadeli, CEO of Industrial Innovation Academy. This MOC will achieve a number of objectives. It will contribute to enhancing the participation of the private sector in the national economy by providing training and employment opportunities for Omanis, initiating training and operational programs for Omani job seekers, and improving their readiness to engage in the labour market and boosting the system of self-employment in the Sultanate. The MOC will also help to localize some energy-related specialized jobs, besides supporting SMEs and enhancing their contribution to the national economy. Innovation in accordance with the objectives and priorities of Oman Vision 2040. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with international news. Stay tuned.
Play. You listen.
You talk. We listen.
You got something to say? We want to hear it.
95.4 in Muscat.
And 91 in Salalah.
Music, news, views, and everything in between.
TFM.
TFM.
Let's talk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday was named Times Magazine Person of the Year, sources reported. Zelensky was chosen from a shortlist of 10 people or groups earlier this week for the title by Times Magazine. Since late February, when the war between Russia and Ukraine started, Zelensky has led Ukraine as it has fought to fend off a full-scale Russian invasion of the nation, making Ukraine a leader on the international scene. The Ukrainian president also presided over a string of wins in the conflict that have mostly prevented Russia from making progress and allowed Ukraine to recapture land it had lost. Earlier in November, the Ukrainian masses celebrated the liberation of Kherson city after Ukrainian forces swept into the regional capital and Russian troops retreated to the east. Russian attacks in Ukraine have damaged about 32,000 civilian targets and more than 700 critical infrastructure facilities since the Russian invasion began in February 2022, according to sources. Meanwhile, Zelensky called on United Nations Security Council to support Ukrainians' peace formula. In a recent virtual address to the UNSC, or the United Nations Security Council, Zelensky emphasized that there must be no place in the world for terror. It's time to endorse the Ukrainian peace formula, I reiterate. There must be no room for horror in the world at all, Zelensky said. The European Commission on Wednesday proposed the 9th package of sanctions against Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. In a press statement, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced that they are stepping up the pressure on Russia with the 9th package of sanctions. Russia continues to bring death and devastation to Ukraine. It is deliberately targeting civilians and infrastructure, seeking to paralyze the country at the beginning of the winter. We stand by Ukraine and we're making Russia pay for its cruelty, Ursula von der Leyen said in a press statement. Ursula von der Leyen said the European Commission has proposed to impose sanctions against 200 additional individuals and entities, including the Russian armed forces, defense industrial companies, members of Russia's State Duma Federal Council, ministers and governors. She noted that the list includes key figures involved in Russia's brutal and deliberate missile strikes against civilians, in the kidnapping of Ukrainian children to Russia, and in the theft of Ukrainian agricultural products. EU Commission President stated that they are in favor of imposing sanctions against 3 additional Russian banks, including a full transaction ban on the Russian Regional Development Bank. She said that European Commission proposes to introduce import restrictions on goods, including key chemicals, nerve agents, electronics and IT components that she stressed could be used by the Russian war machine. Furthermore, von der Leyen said the European Commission proposes to cut Russia's access to all sorts of drones and unmanned aerial vehicles. In addition, European Commission calls for barring the direct exports of drone engines to Russia and any third countries which could provide drones to Russia. Von der Leyen stated that European Commission also favors targeting Russian propaganda machines by taking 4 additional channels off the air and all other distribution platforms. She stressed that European Commission proposes further economic measures against the Russian energy and mining sector. Notably, the European Commission has introduced 8 packages of sanctions against Russia since Moscow began its offensive in Kyiv. The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, recently had back-to-back wins as she received a philanthropy award along with winning the People's Choice Award for her Archetypes podcast. According to sources, Meghan and Prince Harry accepted the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award in New York City on Tuesday night. They were recognized by the human rights non-profit for their work in racial justice, mental health, and other social impact action through their Archwell Foundation. As she received her philanthropy award, Meghan's Archetype podcast won the People's Choice Award for Pop Podcast of 2022. She wasn't present to accept the prize at Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California. In celebration of her win, the 41-year-old shared her gratitude with fans in a statement on her Archwell site on Wednesday. Both these awards come days before the couple's new docuseries Harry and Meghan premieres on Netflix on December 8th. The docuseries will give fans an inside look into their personal lives, struggles and relationship with the British royal family after stepping down from their senior royal duties in 2020. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Play, you listen.
You talk, we listen.
You got something to say? We want to hear it.
95.4 in Muscat.
And 91 in Salalah.
Music, news, views, and everything in between.
TFM.
TFM.
Let's talk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update, now for the sports news. History repeats for Spain, who left the World Cup on Tuesday night following a penalty shootout against Morocco after 120 minutes of football failed to produce a goal. Spain had over 75% of the ball and yet managed just 2 shots on target all game, with both of those efforts coming from Dani Olmo following set pieces. Spain coach Luis Enrique insisted before and during the tournament that he would remain true to Spain's passing style, and he continued to defend it after the final whistle. A look at Spain's recent World Cup record supports the heretical vision that some change is needed. After winning the 2010 in brilliant fashion in South Africa, Spain has won just 3 games from 11 in World Cup finals, with those wins against the footballing powerhouses of Australia, Iran and Costa Rica. Spain went home after the group stage in Brazil while falling in the last 16 in Russia, also going out on penalties. Their last 5 matches in major knockout tournaments have all gone to extra time, with 4 of those against Morocco on Tuesday versus Switzerland and Italy in the European Championship, and against Russia in 2018 also going to penalties, with Spain losing 3 of those 4 shootouts. All of this implies that Spain's style of play is generally enough to see them past weaker sides, as they always qualify for big tournaments with relative ease, but when they come up against bigger and better rivals in the knockout stages, they are simply unable to beat them. Spain's best chances against Morocco came when Athletic Club Bilbao winger Nico Williams came on in the 75th minute. Williams immediately looked to take on his full back rather than give a horizontal pass, and Spain's best chances came when he got the goal line and put the ball into the penalty area. Incredibly, Williams was substituted for the penalties in the 118th minute, with his replacement Pablo Sarabia then missing his spot kick. Apart from Williams, Spain has only one other player who is able to produce something from nothing, Ansu Fati, but perhaps because of fitness reasons, Enrique was unwilling to use him except in a very peripheral role. The coach's future is in doubt, as all coaches are following an early exit from the World Cup, but he has indicated he would like to carry on, and it's clear an honest, direct and decent man will have the support and loyalty of his players. But unless Enrique is willing to adapt his style of play to include a plan B when it's 0-0 in the 70th minute, the script will probably remain the same. Big wins over weak rivals followed by pass, pass, pass and go home. Netherlands defender Virgil van Dijk wants that his side will have to beat more than just Leo Messi when they take on Argentina in the World Cup quarterfinals on Friday night. The Netherlands have progressed calmly into the quarterfinals after beating the United States with an assured and serious display in the last 16, while Argentina were led by an excellent display from Messi against Australia. Messi was inspirational in what is likely to be his last World Cup finals, but Van Dijk advised there is more to Argentina. Messi is one of the best players. Together with Cristiano Ronaldo, he's one of the best players of the last decades. There is only respect for what he has achieved. But now we're preparing not only to play against him, but to face Argentina as a whole, he told the press 2 days before the game. Argentina have also seen good displays from midfielder Enzo Fernandez and young forward Julian Alvarez, who has scored in his last 2 appearances. Argentina has many good footballers who can make a difference. They are players we must watch. That's what we're going to do. This is not a Holland against Messi, but a Holland against Argentina, Van Dijk insisted. The Dutch have been very effective so far in Qatar and are one of 4 unbeaten sides in the tournament. After topping Group A and beating the US, coach Louis van Gaal said that they can win the tournament, and Van Dijk believes they have more to give. Those were all the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.